This is Calafiori. This is Maldini. This is Calafiori, and this is Maldini again. The Italians are famous for producing the best center backs in the world. From Maldini to Nesta to Cannavaro to Giorgio Chiellini, if you want a top-class defender, you go to Italy. Even Mourinho once said that Italian defenders are so good that they should teach a class on defending at university.
Mr. Bonucci, Mr. Chiellini, they could go to some Harvard University to give classes about how to be a central defender.
Arsenal last season barely lost the Premier League. They were close to City the whole time, literally only losing one game from the 20th of January till the end of the season, and that was to Aston Villa. They had the best defense in the league, conceding only 29 goals, but Arteta clearly felt they still needed to upgrade. The margins are so small that you have to take every advantage you can get. Maybe with a top athletic defender like Calafiori included in the back line, Arsenal don't concede those 2 goals to Aston Villa, and they would have been the ones lifting the Premier League trophy at the end of the season. Zinchenko can be a defensive liability, and Calafiori is much better than Kiwior. He can be the solution to making the Arsenal defense even better. This guy was hyped throughout the Euros. Part of it was due to the fact that he looks like a mix between Maldini and Nesta. You put a black and white filter on this photo and you could convince anyone that he was part of the 2002 Italian national team. Everyone was talking about his looks, but his talent was visible through the Euros. Fast, strong, good on the ball, he is the ideal modern day defender. Just look at his assist for Italy's tying goal against Croatia in the group stages. He grabbed the ball in the dying minutes, carried it into midfield himself, running at the Croatian backline, and then in the last minute found Zaccagni, who finished it in. His confidence and comfortability on the ball is really impressive. Part of why he's so good on the ball is that he grew up playing as a fullback. Calafiori was a youth product of Roma, signing his first contract with them on the 16th of June 2018. He was talented enough that Mino Raiola, one of the top agents in the world, picked him up before he even hit the senior level. Early in his career though, he actually suffered a near career-ending injury on his knee. A rash challenge left his knee shattered, with all the ligaments in the meniscus and the capsule of his knee ruptured. He had to travel to the United States for surgery. The injury was so bad that the doctor reviewing his knee thought that he had gotten into a motorcycle accident.
The doctor said that it looked like he was in a motocross accident, like in a bicycle accident, because of how bad his knee was crushed.
Calafiori was able to recover and made his senior debut for Roma at the age of 18 in August of 2020. He won a penalty and even scored a goal that was unfortunately later disallowed against Juventus. It was an impressive start for the young left back, and it showed the potential that he had. The following season, Calafiori was brought in as a substitute for Spinazzola and scored his first professional goal in Roma's home win against Young Boys in the Europa League. His journey to be a regular for Roma, however, came to an end when Mourinho was hired. Despite Mourinho posting a video on Instagram of him studying the youngster before getting to Rome, over the following 18 months, Calafiori would only make 17 more appearances for Roma, finding playing time very difficult to find. He ended up being sent on loan to Genoa. His time at Genoa was pretty forgettable. He only appeared in 3 matches, 1 start, 2 substitute appearances, and a total of 81 minutes played. He had remained a bench player. Once again, in an effort to get more playing opportunities to actually develop, the Italian defender went to Switzerland to join Basel in the summer of 2022. Calafiori signed a 3-year contract with Basel. He joined the first team for their 2022-2023 season under coach Alexander Frey. This was a massive turning point in Calafiori's career. Finally, he was getting some playing time, making 34 appearances in all competitions. He was mainly used in his regular position of left back, but he also did play 12 matches at center back. It was a glimpse into his versatility. The fact that he could play both in a 3-back and in a 4-back formation was really impressive, especially for a youngster. To be able to excel in various different roles and various different systems at such a young age, it made him stand out. His experience as a fullback also made him way more comfortable on the ball than your traditional center backs. Add the fact that he's 6'2", fast and strong, then you got the perfect profile for a defender. It was basically like young Ramos when he used to be a right back, very similar style. That one season in Switzerland was so good that Bologna came calling, looking to sign the Italian defender. It was time for him to go back home. We followed him through his time at Basel, and he can now play in central defense as well, said Bologna sporting director Marco Di Vaio. I think he can be the future of this club. On the 31st of August 2023, Calafiori returned to the Serie A and signed with Bologna. Thiago Motta had studied the young Italian defender and decided that he was more suited to being a center back. What a decision that was. Calafiori flourished as a ball-playing center back in Bologna's 4-2-3-1 setup. He was able to carry the ball when building out of the back and was excellent at reading the game. He was the cornerstone of the third best defense in Serie A. Calafiori himself discussed what an important role Motta had played in his development by giving him freedom to play without fear and express himself even from a center back position. For Serie A watchers, the transformation was night and day. This guy went from being somebody who made a handful of appearances, mainly coming in as a sub or a rotational piece at left back, to now being the best defender on one of the fastest rising clubs in Italian football. As the year went on, he only got better. He won the Serie A Player of the Month in May as Bologna sealed a top 5 finish that qualified them for the Champions League for the first time. He finished the season with 2 goals and 5 assists to his name in 30 Serie A appearances, earning a place in the team of the season and a nomination on the 3-man list for Defender of the Year. Although once again, there was more discussion around the fact that his girlfriend crashed his post-match interview than his actual skills on the pitch. That's actually a big reason why I made this video. He's gotten a lot of hype mainly around pretty privilege. There's more talks about his looks and his hairstyle than his actual skills on the pitch, but he's an excellent defender. On the 23rd of May 2024, he received his first official call-up to the Italy senior national team, being included in the preliminary squad for the 2024 Euros by Luciano Spalletti. He debuted for the senior team on the 4th of June, coming on as a substitute for Federico Di Marco in the 85th minute of a 0-0 friendly against Turkey in Bologna. Initially, it was reported that Calafiori's best friend didn't even think that he would get a call-up. Then you fast forward to the Euros, and he was arguably Italy's second most important player after Donnarumma. It was his assist that saved Italy for what could have been an embarrassing group stage exit. Unfortunately, he could only watch from the stands as Italy lost to Switzerland. But individually, he had shown everything that was needed to be seen. How great he looked on the international stage, combined with his fantastic season at Bologna, was enough evidence that he can be a top defender. Arteta and Arsenal clearly value versatility a lot. You look at Ben White, Tomiyasu, Kiwior. They are defenders who can play both as a fullback and a center back. Calafiori is essentially like Ben White on the left-hand side if you want to compare profiles. Obviously, Calafiori is 4 years younger, so his ceiling can be a lot higher, but they both fit the same mold. Both really comfortable on the ball, both athletic players who read the game very well. It's a common development for defenders who start out as a fullback. It's like a trial by fire. You have to immediately be good on the ball or you just won't get playing time. What ends up happening with these type of defenders is, compared to your traditional fullback, okay, they're not as good going forward, but if you put those guys at center back, then they're immediately head and shoulders above in terms of ball playing ability than your traditional center backs. A quick and powerful player, Calafiori has been praised for his technique in terms of shooting and his ability to whip in crosses when he gets forward. His height also makes him effective in aerial duels, which is perfect for the physicality of the Premier League. Considering how good Saliba and Gabriel are, my guess is that Arteta wants to play Calafiori in that left back spot where he was playing Kiwior. Clearly, Zinchenko is a liability defensively. There were many times last season where he would be sleeping at the back post, not marking, or just getting beat way too easily in 1v1 situations. It was an easy part of the team to attack because the other 3 defenders were so sound. Kiwior was better defensively, but he was a little limited going forward. Timber can play there too, but it probably makes more sense to have a left-footed player on the left-hand side. It's similar to what City has been doing. It's almost like 4 center backs across the back line is the new meta. You saw how Pep moved Nathan Ake to left back. You look at Barca and the French national team using Koundé as a right back. Teams want to get a player there who's good going forward. He doesn't have to be prime Marcelo, but just good enough to go forward, but more importantly, be solid enough defensively that 1, he's not a liability, and 2, it's not easy to beat him in 1v1 situations. Clearly, Arteta believes in this strategy as well, hence going for yet another defender, despite Arsenal coming off the back of a very good defensive season. Considering how good he is and the amount of money that Arsenal are willing to pay for him, I really doubt that Calafiori would be on the bench as a rotation piece for Gabriel and Saliba, but it does mean that Arteta can rest those guys now. Gabriel can especially get a breather because Calafiori is left-footed, so he can slot into that left center back role for certain games, since Arsenal will be wanting to compete in all competitions. A back line of Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori is really nice on paper, I can't even lie. This signing is just another piece in a massive puzzle that has been Arteta's project for the Gunners. If you want to see the work that he has done and how much Arsenal has developed in the past few years, you have to check out this video right here.